What I love about history is that it's the story of people. A lot of times people think about history as being about facts or things you need to memorize, events, battles, and that kind of thing. But what history is really all about is about people, the interaction of people. Winchester's a great place to study history because it has that perfect blend of being big enough where there's lots going on. Again, you've got the history, the environment of Winchester here that's fantastic to respond to. But it's a small enough place that you get to know Winchester itself really well. You get to know the community here at the university really well. Within our department as well, we're big enough to be able to offer you fantastic choice, but small enough that you're going to get to know each of us quite well, and we'll get to know you as well. You won't be a number and a name, you'll be an individual as part of a bigger community here.
As a historian coming to Winchester, it's brilliant because you are in amongst all of this history. You are, what, 40 minutes, an hour from London.
What attracts students to study history is that sense of the detective work, that process of investigation, of piecing things together, and the possible choices that face people at the time. Things in the medieval past and in the early modern past actually happened here, and that kind of sense of the connection with the historical past is very apparent from the streets, not just the cathedral, but the streets around the city as well.
The great thing about the first year is it gives you an opportunity to try out different things. So you get the opportunity to take the kinds of history that you may already know and love, but also to try out new topics in our introductory modules, which will give you a really fantastic foundation to build upon on different periods and places.
Then when they move to the second year, there are still a couple of modules that are mandatory for the students to carry on in their learning process of being academics, but then there is much more optionality. So there are lots of options. There are two types of optionalities. So options that are much more focused on presentation skills, while others much more on the study of primary sources, primary materials. But there's a variety of options offered in the second year where students can really basically try different elements of history, different periods, and different type of history. It could be gender perspective, environmental history, colonial history, and so on. And that will give them some breadth in their knowledge in history, but also allow them to perhaps find more what they're interested in for when they move to their third year.
We really encourage our third years to think about their study of history over the course of their degree and how it does relate to modern society. So we're continually getting our students to think about how history is not just something that happened a long time ago or something that takes place in a book, but something that is with us and continually evolving, and we're continually engaging with history and the past in different ways each and every day.
The course itself was so wide that I knew that I could take it in several different directions, as opposed to some places where the courses can be quite constricting. This one was just so wide that I knew I could do several things with it.
I love teaching history because I love to be able to get people to understand a little bit more about a historical period that is so different from ours.
We can offer a huge variety in terms of studying the classical world, Greece and Rome, the early Middle Ages, later Middle Ages, the early modern period in both Britain and Europe, international history from Russia to Japan to America to India to the Hispanic world as well. So that huge variety that we've got on offer is something that students say they really enjoy about Winchester.
Lecturers really pushed you to always further your boundaries and think outside the box, and that's something that I've really taken into the world of work with me.